And the Suffolk.
Okay, what's next?
I got a bit of a glimpse on how to understanding the film world and photography, using all the fancy equipment and how you can be armed but without knowing that you're armed. Because we walk around with our phones, we don't really understand that they could do more in even making a difference or telling a story or just having an impact, which is more than just taking a snapshot. So now I understand what kind of a weapon I actually have.
Initially, it seemed like we were gonna tell our story about what kind of leaders we are. But then it tapped into something more interesting. These leaders that we have filmed, they have become like role models to us, people that wouldn't have imagined to meet or interview. And in interviewing them, that one-on-one, it did inspire us as much as people will see it out on the camera. But us who were interviewing, we got to see things that we hadn't seen before. And it created a clear change in mindset about the kind of leaders that we want to be in the future, starting now.
From Cynthia, I learned, I've actually learned a lot from her. Because observing the way she talks with her colleagues, it's more like a leader who should come down and associate with the people. Then you get to know information or things that you knew nothing about. You would learn and they will learn from you. and they would push you because they see that you are a leader for the people.
The other thing that I see in Malasan is servant leadership. She takes initiative, she's really proactive. Together with her group, she takes initiative to, for example, do community cleanup, something that is usually a government role. But then I think what I learned from her is that do not wait for someone else to do it, if you can.
And
Yes, Joey.
last time I was here, he told me about the meat, the spring onions.
Choosing the African leaders and leaders in Uganda, I prefer to look out for people who had directly inspired me and actually journeyed with me. Because so I look at my university, Chamago University, and I had this one particular teacher who believed in me. We used to do work presentations on PowerPoint, and whenever I used to stand to talk, she would keep nodding her head in affirmation, and that kept giving me lots of confidence to present.
Growing up, I was blessed to have both parents present in my life and two siblings. And my siblings are boys. And my parents raised us in a similar way. So you're coming from an environment where you have designated roles and how children are supposed to be raised based on their gender. And my parents were doing the opposite of how they were supposed to raise me as a girl child. So I was allowed to explore everything the way boys would. It was just a light bulb. Okay, let's try and make packaging material that is compostable. And then we made using that fruit and vegetable waste, and it was actually very comparable to a plastic packaging.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Come with me. You speak.
I'm a firstborn in a family of 4 children, and culturally, as Bachiga, that's my tribe, men are supposed to be leaders. And also from where we come from, it's quite a rough terrain, mountainous. We are farmers, so we have to be hardy. From the studies that I got in Lebanon, that is in 2019, since then I've been working with an NGO called Action Against Hunger, where we are working with the most vulnerable. Those are refugees from South Sudan. They are by themselves. So initially, how they are supposed to be helped is they get food aid. But with the economic crisis and whatnot, they are not as supported as they should be. But with my skills in irrigation and agriculture, we are able to support them, to teach them to help themselves and their own food through the small plots of land that they have.
From my background, I have spent more time in education, and I have started taking my undergraduate at University of Rwanda College of Science and Technology, and I finished there in 2015. After that, I have got a chance to work in National Institute of Statistics. And when I was working there, I got a chance of getting a MasterCard scholarship. My background was mathematics, and I'm taking my PhD in economics and finance. So it's challenging me because it requires me to work hard.
Main aim ya set up was to go into business.
I grew up in a community that did not value girls or women so much. In fact, at that time, my going to school and my sisters was really deprioritized over my male cousins or my male brothers. And I think it's really heartbreaking to see your age mates given priority to access good education, access the best of the uniforms and books. And so I think that has somehow shaped my attitude towards life, my attitude towards getting what I really want. So I learned very early on that if I wanted to get things, I had to work extra hard.
Whether or trees. Yeah. So we decided.
Kilimo Jijini is an urban gardening or urban farming project that we co-founded with my partner, Purity Kendi, back in 2017. And thanks to the Innovation Fund from the Mastercard Foundation, we got seed funding to start it up.
Yeah. So volcanic soil is very fertile because of the it's very available in Kenya.
My early childhood days were like first very fantastic to very, very bad. But even if it was very bad, I liked it because it helped me think through, be creative, would go to the swamp and pick some clay, make some pots, would make small gardens of maize, just like maybe 20 sticks of maize. We kept on exploring. So for me, I had to learn how to plait hair, I had to learn how to cook as a backup plan for my life. So in case I didn't get an opportunity to really study until university, I think I meant yeah to be not. Spice Diana, I told her. It's the Girls Empowering Girls program. It's a UNICEF project in collaboration with KCCA and TMF. We are working with primary school going students in the less privileged schools of the government, basically for now. And we reach out to the girls, tell them about basics of life. It can be hygiene, menstrual hygiene, health, supporting them. Some are coming from very violent homes. So, telling them about their rights, how they can access information, how they can access support when it comes to health, how they can journey and set goals. So we cover a wide scope. We are like friends to these little girls. Wow, thank you. Wow, this is nice. This is a nice rope.
Being the first in my family to go to the university, obviously I had to work hard. I can't just get to the university and then not work hard to come out successfully and then drop out at the end. What am I teaching my siblings, or what am I teaching the younger ones? I'm happy as a midwife because I'm able to talk to women on how to take care of themselves after delivery so they don't face any complications that may be detrimental to their life.
from the motorcycles yet.
We need to reconnect to our history. When we connect to our history as an African people, you will realize that the first university was from this continent. The Greeks and all those people came to learn from the continent of Africa. Egypt began the civilization and all these amazing stuff. And once an African child starts learning stuff like this, it builds their self-esteem. And when they become a leader tomorrow, they don't look down on themselves.
I didn't come from a family that is rich and all that. So growing up, I wasn't open. I wasn't ready to interact and then socialize. That was part of me. But getting here, I found that I got to know for you to be heard, for you to go high, you need to open up yourself. You need to take a position, and through that, people will get to know of you, and then that will make you go far in life. I think looking at myself, I served. I didn't sit down to be served. Because I didn't mind whether you were a junior or you were a senior. Whatever you bring to me as a concern, I make sure I take it up. Whatever I see as a concern, I take it up. I was just open to everybody. I didn't mind that I am the leader here. I didn't take myself to be a boss. Yeah, I just humbled myself for everyone. One of the things I contributed that served as a change was towards our girls' things. Yeah, our sorry to say, our toilet facility was very bad. Even though they've not changed it, but as for the way that the place was full and then messed up, I helped with collaboration with the teachers and authority to go drain the waste product.
Hello, Madame Tasamba. A pleasure to meet you after so many years. I'm very happy to see you. Today, we want to talk about transformative leadership in Africa. But before we jump there, tell us a little bit about your leadership experience.
A leader should be visionary. A leader should be able to influence others to their vision. A leader should be able to guide people, but helping others, in my own experience, rates very high. For example, I was a leader to over 100,000 people in a network marketing company. And I found that in order for me to be successful, I needed to help people. The more people I helped, the more I became successful.
So now I'm wondering, when we talked on phone, you actually told me you had started your mushroom project.
Yeah, sure.
I think you need to lead me there.
Yeah,
so that I can learn and actually copy what you're doing.
I've picked two key things: community and the young people. My story with the young people begins at the university, where I have been working and teaching for 32 years. That's where I've interacted most with young people, and that's where I got my passion to work with young people, and that's where I got my training. That's where I got to understand the psychology of young people. Today we met specifically to explore one project, that is acquisition of land small plots of land for our group members. So we are the people, the small group that is in charge of the project of land. So that's why today I hosted that group. And in the meeting, the chairman was unveiling the plan, how we are going to find funding, the source for funding, and what he expects us to do. Now we have hope that some of our members who do not own their personal land will now be able to own land.
That is why they have to fix the timing.
I'm born and bred in Kibra, and I work in Kibra with an organization of which I'm a founder, Mazingira Women Initiative. And within Mazingira Women Initiative, we do environment conservation, we do solid waste management and recycling, we do tree planting and urban farming, and also we train the community on climate change action. The word Kibra itself is a Nubi name for forest. So it was a dense forest, and what we see is not what we actually were bred in. It was a village with vegetation, neighborhood with plantations, with trees, fruit trees everywhere. So that one actually made me to realize that it is a high time that we need to restore the glory of Kibra. Okay, we'll not do it 100%, but at least just to have just few trees that we can actually be consuming fruits like before, because it was very easy while we were going to school. It was easy coming home for lunch. You'll get avocados, you'll get mangoes, you'll get different type of fruits. You will not even depend on the food that is actually cooked. You'll just go for the fruits and then off you go back to school. So that is the childhood that actually I was very happy about, and I felt that the new generation also requires that kind of childhood. So that is why I decided to venture into environment conservation. We've done a lot of trainings to the level whereby at least we are sustainable, the women are sustainable with the cleaning aspect and also the detergent making. The agriculture, they do it, the kitchen gardening, each and every woman does it on her own. And during recycling, the plastic bottles, we actually do planting in plastic bottles too. So these are some of the things that actually the women are doing, and they're comfortable. What I believe is that the leadership should concentrate more on agriculture in order to have food security, because currently globally and regionally we are grappling with youth unemployment. And when we have a lot of people unemployed and low income earners with no food, it is a disaster in the making. We cannot over-rely on the government. The government is us. We are the government actually by the end of the day, and the communities will only supplement what the government does.
That's our beautiful gate. Yes, this is the space, this is the outside.
There's no one perfect, I believe, and to be a great leader, I think even me, as a leader, it's something I need to work on. Is when you make a mistake, on them. And be open to be corrected, and be open to changes, be open to new ideas, even if they're not coming from you.
Yes, this is why we do the magic. Yes, that's the cheza. Yes. Got it. Yes. Woo!
አቤላ ከድር እባላለሁ። የተወለድኩት አስመራ ነው። ያ በሁለት ዓመቴ ነው ወደ አዲስ አበባ የመጣሁት። ያው በአካል ጉዳቴ ምክንያት ነው ለሕክምና ወደ አዲስ አበባ የመጣሁት። የጉዳት አይነት እጅግ በጣም ከፍተኛ የሚባለው ነው። የአይን፣ የስፓይናል ኮርድ፣ የእግርና የእጅ ነው ጉዳቱ። ጉዳቱንም ደግሞ ከፍተኛ እንደሆነ ያወቅኩት በመጀመሪያ እናቴ ወድቃ ነው እንደተነገረኝ ከሆነ ያወቅኩት እሱን ነው። በመውደቋ ምክንያት ነው የኔ አካል ጉዳት የተከሰተው። አሁን የሰራለት ፋሽን ላይ ነው። አብዛኛው ሰው የሚያውቀኝ በፋሽን ሾው ነው። ሞዴልና ፋሽን ላይ ሰራ አዘጋጅ መሆኑ ይሰራለሁ። በጣም ብዙ ሰው ያወቀኛል አሁን በሞዴሊንግ ነው። ሞዴሊንግ ላይ ያው በጣም ብዙ ሰርቻለሁ። እስካሁን ድረስ ወደ 7 ሾዎች ላይ ተሳትፌያለሁ። 3ቱም ስካይላይት ሆቴል ነው። አንዱን ሸራተን አዲስ ቤት ሲምባሲ ያዘጋጀ ጊዜ ነው። እኛ አካል ጉዳተኞች ደግሞ ምንድነው የምለው ሁሌ አክሴፕት መደረግን ብቻ መውደድ የለብንም። እኔ በነገራችን ላይ ሪጀክሽን በጣም ደስ የሚለኝ፣ ምክንያቱም ሪጀክሽን በበዛ ቁጥር የአንቺ እድገት አወ
Yes, hello, good morning. My name is Asik Benson. Very happy to be here. Let's see how this interview kicks off. Yeah, thanks.
We focus so much at empowering communities. That is currently the model we are working because of the COVID. And we do a lot of online trainings. But also in the communities, we set up agronomy teams who facilitate. So when we identify like a lead farmer, we train with them. And when we establish such a site, it's not only at my site. We have many other sites around the country. So farmers keep engaging with that lead farmer there. So for us, that model is more important than only the farmers I train.
Brian,
if I look between 2017 and 2019, I had a program where I was doing an intensive demonstration training program. And we do a program like this, and on a weekly training we train people. In those 3 years, we had when we did the survey, in the whole program, we had up to 15,000 people minimum. So you will see a lot of the farmers we work with, they've learned how to improve the productive seeds for productivity. They do this kind of staking. When it comes to production, they learn about best practices of stake pruning. These are the kind of things you see that you can, these are competences or skills that you can easily give someone. So it was a process. It took me approximately 1.5 years to 2 to really see that I'm really profitable in the farming. So if it wasn't for that patience that I have this something I'm pursuing, probably maybe in the first year, like any other farmer, starter farmer, maybe I would shun away my dream. Imagine a Uganda where at least on each village, not even a village, even if we said in each sub-county level, you had this kind of a farm. Our country will be so different. To me, that's my belief. Within 1 week, another will be ready.
No, surprisingly, man, tomatoes, today they are fine, 2 days later.
Yeah, but the challenge is
murakoze cyane. Aha duhagaze ni mu murenge wa Gashari, akagari ka Mwendo, umudugudu wa Gakurwe. Ubwo rero muri makeya tukaba duhagaze mu muhanda nakoze, nuko ati umuhanda nakoze ugarukira aha ngaha, ukagenda ukagera ku bitaro, ukagenda ukagera hakurya aho bita ku Nkoto mu murenge wa Murambi, ndetse nkaba narawukoze ngendereye kugira ngo ngire support, ngire ikintu mfasha ku baturage. Bari bamukuye ku kigo nderabuzima nta transfert bamuhaye ya ambulance, bamukuye kuri centre de santé ya Mwendo. Rero ubwo ngubwo biba ngombwa yuko bahamunyurana arwaye, ndumva hari kera hari 2015. Ubwo ngubwo arahanyura, amaze kuhanyura bahamunyujije bamuhetse mu ngobyi nyine izi za kinyarwanda zisanzwe. Noneho ubwo ngubwo umurwayi baranyerera bamutura hasi, bitewe nuko hari mu bihuru tugira dufunganye, hari inzitane. Ubwo ngubwo rero bamaze kumutura hasi, ubwo arababara.
Umuhanda bitewe ko utari umeze neza, abaturage bahuriraga n'ibibazo mu nzira bajyanye abarwayi kwa muganga. Birumvikana nta turaro twari turimo, umuhanda ntiwari ukoze, bakagenda batemba kandi batwaye abarwayi. Biba ngombwa yuko atekereza icyo gikorwa nk'uko yagiye anabigaragaza muri interviews zitandukanye yagiye ahereza abantu nabo batandukanye, kandi koko byari byo. Ubu ngubu uretse n'abanyamaguru n'ikinyabiziga kitaremereye gishobora guhaguruka aha ngaha kikagera ikirindi. Ubwo ndiho ndavuga nka moto ndetse n'imodoka ntoya ishobora kuhagera aho ngaho ku bitaro. Byumvikane ko rero uyu muhanda ufitiye abaturage b'inaha ngaha akamaro, kubera ko ni inzira ya bugufiya. Uretse no kujya ku bitaro gusa, hari abaturage batuye i Murambi duhana imbibi, aho kujya kuzenguruka inzira ya kure baje kugenderanira n'ab'inaha ngaha, biraborohera bahita baca inzira za bugufi bagahura n'ab'inaha ngaha.
N'abaturage nabo bacana. Intego yanjye rero nyamukuru ikaba ari iyo kubaka igihugu, kandi ikindi cya kabiri abandi kumva ko mu bihe bizaza hari ikiyaga nazubakisha kiri hakurya iriya, nuko kiri kubitegura nkaba ntarabona abaterankunga.
South Africa. Videographer omutegeeza bakola bino bali mukola kati kati naye bajja kutuka abantu ebimu babisale ebimu babikendeze captioning bakole.
How I got introduced to this space was through a volunteership offered by the Department of Science and Technology for young graduates, science graduates. So I applied for the post and I got it, and they then hosted me here at the center. We have tried to populate the space with as much science as possible, as diverse science as possible, from nanotechnology, physics, optics, sound, electricity, life sciences, natural sciences, just so that when one comes into this space, they're able to, for lack of a better expression, to touch science and engage with that.
We are what I call modern day griots, and griots are the storytellers in African history. Griots are people who are trained to have their history, the history of the people, handed down from generation to generation. And as modern day griots, what we have the capacity to do is to harness these stories and put it together for generations to come.
I grew up in both Ghana and the US. In the US, I grew up in a city that produced a lot of cars in Detroit, Michigan. And so I was surrounded by the automotive industry and what they could do, and naturally it was fascinating to me. And so I wanted to be involved in that. I wanted to design cars. But at the same time, my Ghana upbringing also exposed me to some of the challenges that we have here. There are three pillars, right? Ideate, create, and develop. The first, ideate, meaning that we are creating students who can think creatively, and so in that sense we are changing mindsets, we are changing the way they think and how they approach problems that they encounter every day. Create in the sense that we are trying to not just come up with, ideate, but we want to eventually turn these solutions into real products and services that actually change society. And so today, at our workshop, for instance, while they're learning some of the basics of how a robot works, from the sensors to the controller to the actions that it does, it moves up and down, what is it actually being used for? What's the mission that it's accomplishing?
People come here from morning to 11, they are in their skill areas, nursery teaching, catering, electrical, motor vehicle. But from 11 to 1, they are all studying those important cross-cutting subjects: leadership, business, health, spirituality, computers. And then after lunch, they go back to their skill areas. So when you graduate, you are really all around. If you have a vision and you want it to survive you, then you must pass it on, especially to the younger generation. So you must shift from supporting people to building institutions that last, values that will outlive you.
Education makes a difference to making good leaders. When educated leaders with a broad mind and thinking and training make for good leaders.
We get about 400 applications. We interview 150. We select 30. That is what we have had for the years. The population of the school is 120. And to give them a free education is not cheap. It's expensive, but it's been a walk of faith. My biggest challenge is remembering the girls that we have not taken. And this statue seat is here to remind us that we need to stay accountable. We need to remember the girl who was not taken by Daraja, because we cannot get comfortable. We cannot forget that she's out there waiting to come to Daraja.
We use a lot of project-based learning, which is also trying to bring different subjects together. You will make English relate with business studies, and business studies will relate with biology. We recently had a very successful project where students studied our community around here, and they identified the major diseases that people are suffering from. And classroom was not in the four-walled room. They went to the community and they were interviewing people. In geography, they are taught how to collect data, how to sample. And they're using the skills to meet people, learning how to write reports in English, how to write a good questionnaire in English. And they met, asked questions. The information they brought back was used in a biology lesson. And they learned, indeed, there is a lot of cholera because of ABC reasons. They learned there is a little bit of malaria. And it was nice even to bring some health workers from the local hospitals to now use the content that the girls have collected and teach.
Her eyes can actually tell the question that is in her mind.
And Daraja girls know they are all leaders. Literally, when we are interviewing them to get admitted to Daraja, we ask them, tell us of a time when you were a leader. So when they are walking into the school, I know she's really strong and has actually been in a position of influencing others. Every girl who comes to Daraja has a dream. That is what amazes me. They all have a dream and they so want to realize it. And I'm talking about a 14-year-old girl. She has a big vision. She knows the world she wants to live in. And bringing such many minds together, you can imagine how much power there is in this institution. But to build it, we allow ourselves, I allow myself as a leader of this institution to be an inspiration to the girls. To have this institution be what it is now means I got to be a woman leader who is very confident, a woman leader who is ready to take up the challenges, a woman leader who is championing change. So by the time the girls are graduating out of Daraja, they call themselves agents of change. Take advantage of Sheila and Millicent. Like another area, or that's
then so many girls out there. And when we go, there's some.
Yeah, we should face the other.
Do what?
No.
Oh. Like where?
You face this side. Oh, Jen. Jen is facing the opposite side. No.
Oh no, Jen.
No, we're not in the same position. They can do something now. I'm breaking.
የተወለድኩት እስቴ ወረዳ ነው። አስተዳደጌ ከሰው ልጆች ለየት ባለ መልኩ ወላጆችም ብዙ ነው ታሞ ነው አብሮ የተፈጠረ የአእምሮ ችግር ነው እያሉ በብደት ነው የሚስሉኝ። እንዲያውም እያዘለች በየመድኃኒት ቤቱ እንዴት ነው ስራ ፍሮ ነው እንደ ክረምቱ የብደት ምልክት እናቴ እንደምትለኝ በ6 ወር ቆሞ ነበር። በ2 ዓመቱ የመጠየቅ የመመለስ አቅሙ ትልቅ ሰው ነበር። በ4 ዓመት ዕድሜው ስለ ሰው ልጆች ማህበራዊ ኑሮ ይጠይቅ ነበር ትለኛለች። ቆይጃ ለለሳኝ መገናኛ ጠዋት እስከ 2 ሰዓት እንነጋገራለን። ሰላም ሰላም ትላለን። ሙያችንን አውቀን እንሄዳለን። የዘይት ሞተር ነው። እንደምናደራ እንደናችሁ ሰላም ናችሁ? ጌታው እዚህ ነው የሚደረደረው የነበረው። የማህበሩ ሴቶች ትልቁ ሀብት ሰው ነው። ትልቁ ሀብት ሰው ነው ካልን ለትልቁ ሀብታችን ምንድን ነው ማድረግ ያለብን? ፍቅር መለገስ ነው። ፍቅር ነው። ፍቅር ካለ ጥላቻ የለም። ጥላቻ ከሌለ ሀሜት የለም። ሀሜት ከሌለ ጠብ የለም።
Africa is a very innovative space. It's a very creative space. And I think that's sometimes what our leaders miss, because we look outward for solutions instead of looking inside. You hear every now and then in the news, there's some boy in Ghana who's doing this, somebody in Rwanda is doing this, Zimbabwe. They develop this by themselves using trash, using materials that, will be considered useless. and you see the capabilities of people. First and foremost, it's the ability to look at your surroundings, see what is the problem, and try to find a solution.
I feel like Africa was built like that, whereby each one was a leader. A man in his home was a leader. He would ensure that the children grow up in a safe environment. He would ensure that for the activities that he does, the environment is protected. That's how leaders are in Africa.
Ubuntu is integral to everything that we do, because what it says is, I recognize you, I see you, I hear you, you understand? And what is leadership without people? How do you then separate those two? Who are you leading if you're separating those two? You can't just be a leader by yourself, really. So you can't separate the two, and I think that's what Ubuntu, that is the essence of Ubuntu, that you have to look after each other, you have to empower each other, you have to bring up those that are with you.
Yeah, I've walked out of my comfort zone and got myself out there, and sometimes realize I'm the one I've been waiting for, by the way, to make that change. And Cheza has been pushing me towards that. Like, there is nobody else you're waiting for to make that change you're thinking.
ኢትዮጵያ በፋሽኑ በጣም በአካል ጉዳተኞች ቶፕ እንድትሆን ነው የምፈልገው ከእግዚአብሔር ይርዳንና ማለት ነው። ነገር ግን ማህበረሰቡ ይህን ነገር እየተረዳ ነው ብዬ አስባለሁ። ምክንያቱም አካል ጉዳተኞች አይችሉም ሳይሆን አካል ጉዳተኞች ሞዴሎች ናቸው፣ አካል ጉዳተኞች ዲዛይነሮች ናቸው፣ ፊልም ላይ ነው የሚሰሩት ምናምን የሚባለው ነገር ውስጣቸው እየቀረ ይላል። ስለዚህ እያንዳንዱ ሰው ስለ አካል ጉዳተኝነት ያለው አመለካከት የነበረው ኋላ ቀር አመለካከት አሁን የተስተካከለ ነው ብዬ አስባለሁ።
The approach of actually waiting the government to come in with proposal is a challenge at times, because what I believe is that the people within a different locality have got solutions to their own problems. So it is the people actually to tell the government, this is what we want. It is easier for the government to listen to the people than the people to listen to the government with their proposals.
My experience through Daraja and in terms of creating change in the world, I've been taught that you don't have to be in a position of power to bring change. You don't have to be in a formal position to be a change maker. Change is from big to small, but it is the small that actually has more multiplier effects, because then the small can be done by more people.
For transition, the kind of leadership that we have is delegated. The responsibilities of the community is delegated to the leadership. That means the leaders are the servants of the people. So by the end of the day, when you're a servant, you are accountable to these people. And these people have to, you have a responsibility by the end of the day. And these people also have a responsibility to keep you in check by the end of the day. So there is an obligation aspect to it.
ፍቅር የሚወጣው ደግሞ ፍቅር ስላልን ብቻ አይደለም። ለደረሰብሽ ችግር ስደርስልኝ፣ ለደረሰብኝ ስደርስልኝ፣ ወንድምነትን አውቀሽ እህትነትን አውቄ ስራመር ነው የሚሆነው። ዝም ብሎ ያፍ ላይ ብቻ ቢሆን ችግር አይመጣም። ሲመጣ ተመጋግበን ለችግሩ ደራሽ ይሆን፣ የሰው ልጅ ለሰው ልጅ ለችግሩ ደራሽ ይሆን።
Going to somebody's own.
Don't shrink because of who is around you. Don't fail to tap into what you know.
because you're the source of energy. You're that person who will make it happen. And show it to people, because they have a lot to learn from you. You're big in your own way, and you're unique in your big way. So just believe it and shine. Shine.
Love in any language, straight from the heart, binds us together, never apart. Once we learn to speak it, everyone can hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken, heals. God bless you.
If you are a superhero, what would your powers be?
Positive energy. You are there, you're feeling like, oh my God, is today working? You're there like, I don't think it will work. Then you're like, what? Yes, of course it's going to work. You're working and you feel like it's really a bad day. Positive energy, that will be my power.
It's more than 7 words, but
ሁሉም ነገር አልጋ ባልጋ እንዲሆን መጠበቅ የለብንም። በዛ ላይ አማራሪ አንዱ ምክንያቱም በአማረርነት ቁጥር ያማረርነውን ያህል ከሱ በልጦ ነው የምናገኘው። ስለዚህ እኔ ሁሌም የተሰጠኝ ያለኝ ነው
የህፃናቶች መብት፣ የእናቶች መብት፣ የወደቁ ሰዎችን ማንሳት፣ ሰው ለደረሰበት ችግር የችግሩ ደራሽ መሆን፣ ይህ ነው ፍቅርን የሚያመጣው። እነዚህ ከተጠበቁ የፍቅር መንገድ ናቸው። ሰውን እንዴት እንደ ወንድም ማየት፣ እንደ እናት ከፍ ያለውን እንደ እናት እንዲያባት ማየት።
Tell people that the power is in their hands. It is in their hands. Tell people that the power is in their hands. It is in their hands. It is in their hands. It is in their hands.
And Kendi is a friend of Daraja. Yeah? Yeah. She is your #1 champion.
I'm